So, hand it over to her. For our JV is not here, but I do want to recognize them regardless because I think what they did was pretty impressive this year. We have, I want to say, including football, 9 to maybe 12 freshmen. It's not a lot. And truth be told, the football wrestlers make up the majority of that number. And one in particular stuck out as the newcomer of the year. This wrestler came in, was just hungry to do well and get better quickly. He worked with, his partner was always 15 to 20 pounds heavier than him. He was there every single practice. And then towards the end of the year was showing up to wrestling practice at 7, then leaving 5 minutes early so he could go to track practice at 8, running track practice, and then 4th period going and doing off-season football. And then that wrestler ends up, cruising his way at our little JV qualifier meet to the JV starting spot at 132 pounds. And so he's not here tonight, but Joseph Davidson is our young line class kids. I'm going to have them come up here. Wrestlers, you're going to stand right over here. This area is for you. I'm not the tallest, so I need to be above y'all at some point. So this is my one opportunity. We're going to start with the freshmen. I want all the freshmen to come up front and just right over here. We can be in a couple lines if we need, but just right up here. And then the classes afterwards, y'all get the benefit of seeing how they mess up and fixing it. All right, let's talk about this, class of 2026, I think. So I'll start with a little fun fact that's gonna date myself, maybe make some of the parents worried. 10 years ago, I was this kid. I was a freshman in Frisco ISD on the wrestling team. This class is going to hold a very special place in my heart, as I do intend on sticking around, so if you don't like me, sorry. But I do intend on sticking around and seeing it through, unlike maybe coaches past. And I'm not referring to Coach Snyder when I say that. But this class will hold a very special place in my heart because of that. They are my first 4 years. And they're also my smallest class this year. We don't have a ton of freshmen. And like I said, quite a bit of the boys' numbers comes from football. And there's a few that aren't even here. But what a group of kids these are. I mean, many of these were the kids who qualified for JV district, beating out upperclassmen. They all show a drive and determination to succeed. I think a big part of the reason is because they're so moldable and they're freshmen and they get to look at the great group of kids above them and they want to succeed like them. And these are all the kids that are putting in extra work. I see them at the middle school practices we're running right now. I see them at Jack's. Uh-oh, that's not good. We won't talk about that. Of course it's me after I talk bad on the kids. But the sky's the limit for these kids. Now, only one of them, I believe, multiple of them started some matches on varsity. And only one of them, my understanding, has real wrestling experience coming into high school. And so I throw out these kids to the wolves to wrestle seniors who are, some of them are full-grown, basically men. and they have to wrestle them, and they're just a little baby freshman who's still got their baby fat, right? And yet they do everything I ask. This class is going to be great, and I'm so excited for the future of them. I'm going to hit on each one quickly individually. Olivia Cho, our only girl to win JV district. She's been coming to us since the end of the summer. She's a stud. She's going to be the next Trinity, the next Nadia, the next Julianne. When they leave, I have full faith that this girl is going to be the future of our program. She is the freshman, but she's a bright star. Now, Connor Wilson, I've got a special connection to. His mom was a counselor at Centennial High School where I went, and I've known her for a long while. And so Connor, I had to kind of take under my wing a little bit, and he'll always hold a very special place because I get to mess with him a little more than I get to mess with the average wrestler. But Connor was always there early. He always stayed late. He was the true definition of a servant leader. He leads by example. He does what's asked of him even when it's not. And so we're excited to keep Connor. We hope football doesn't hold him too long, but it's Connor Wilson. Next up is Jack Utah. And Jack Utah was one of the freshmen we threw out onto varsity. That's no small task at his weight class. He had to pick up when Tristan Blavey ended up getting hurt. And it was incredibly tough. It's not easy to go out and wrestle varsity as a freshman when you know nothing. And don't confuse this next part as a dig. Like, Utah didn't win a single match on varsity. You can laugh. Many of you weren't even varsity as freshmen. What I have to say about that is that a lot of people wouldn't have been able to stick with it. A lot of people would have struggled and given up and not been willing to go out and go back on the mat and wrestle varsity the next week when Tristan still wasn't ready. And yet Jack Utah was. He's that dude. He is capable of a lot because he's willing to work. And, given the right path, untold potential for this kid right here. So, can't say enough good things about him. Proud of him. That's Jack Utah. Moving on to Nima Khadivi. Nima is our only true remaining single block wrestler left. Nima does band. We have a couple wrestlers that are in the band. And Nima's a freshman. You don't really get to do double block wrestling, double block band. Still got to take your foreign language, your health, your you got so many credits these kids need to graduate now. It's ridiculous. And it makes it impossible to do both. At least double blocked. So he's our only single block wrestler left. And yet, he never let that be an excuse. He was always in the mat room in the mornings, every day, before school when he could be. He would come after school stuff. He's still coming to after school stuff with the middle schoolers, even when it's not on his wrestling day, because he wants to be engaged in the sport. We're trying to figure out how to get him double blocked for wrestling next year, because he's great at band too, and he's going to be in the top band as a sophomore, and he's going to have to be double blocked in that according to the band director. I'm going to fight him every bit of the way. I hope we can get him double blocked in both. But there's a lot of credits. But this young man puts in the work. It shows, it's going to show more in the results in years to come. Excited for the future of him as well. Now, Nolan LeGrone, I've bragged on quite a bit. I think my favorite part of Nolan LeGrone is how he just refuses to quit. He keeps going, he keeps chugging, and while, like I said, Most Improved Award might not be everyone's favorite award, he's so deserving of it. And another football player on the wrestling team, he's going to do great things for us. I'm excited for his future as a littler guy on the team. We're going to be running out of those. We're losing 113 this year. We're losing 26, 32, 38, all of them pretty much. We got too many seniors. But he's going to be able to fill those shoes for years to come. I can count on him for years. He's already proven to me I can count on him this year. So, untold potential for him as well. I'm going to go to Shawn Sweeney next, then I'll hit Leo. Shawn came to me from football as well, and he's my wrestler with actual wrestling experience coming to high school, and it shows. District finalist, not champ, right, at JV district. But what a year it was for him. I mean, coming into the mat room in November, similar to Joseph. And he could have gotten Young Lion. He's showing up every single day. He's coming to the after-school stuff when he can. He knows he could be moved up because he's that valuable. He, like Joseph, was doing the track practice, wrestling practice, football practice, 3-a-days that pretty much none other of our wrestlers can say for, maybe save a couple. And so, while I hope I don't have to share him too much, because I know how good he's going to be, he's one to watch out for. He's got experience. That's huge coming into high school. Shawn Sweeney. Moving on to Leo Asherov. I want to keep him quick because I already talked enough about him. Leo's a bit of a turd at times. I'll keep it straight. But man, kid can wrestle. And kid can throw you on your back. He doesn't care who you are. And give him time. He's going to be essential for the team. He's going to be the dependable person. I threw him out in our first duel against Wakeland, a team that I wanted to beat probably more than any of the wrestlers, knowing I needed him to go beat a kid. And he put the kid on his back and he pinned him. And that was huge in winning a duel that ended up being closer than it probably should have been. And so that's Leo. I said enough about him. Can't get his head too large. Moving on next to Jack Strickland. Man, football is tough to do both football and wrestling. We share as best we can. These guys come in the morning at 7 a.m., then fourth period, they're lifting to whatever it is for football. Jack was a killer at being there as often as he could. He's a bigger guy. We don't have a ton of big guys that are young. My sophomore class, there's not a lot of big guys. We're going to lose size the next 2 years. And Jack is one of the few guys I know that's going to be able to step up and fill those spots. I'm so excited to, hopefully keep building that bridge with football to get more guys like Jack, because I need more guys like Jack. And he knows that. He knows he's going to be that connection for me. So, Jack Strickland. Moving on, I'm going to save you for last. I'm going to hit on Nick Reyes next. Nick Reyes is another one of our positive attitude wrestlers. I mean, kid's always got a smile on his face. He's always saying hello. He's greeting everybody. There's not a bad bone in his body. And I think everybody wants the world for their kids, but everybody wants to see the kid who smiles succeed. And Nick is going to succeed like no other. An incredible year for him. He came to almost every summer practice. And while he was doing that, while he was learning wrestling, he was going and finding extra practices over the summer, knowing he was going to come into wrestling as a freshman. He was going to Next Gen MMA. And while I have my opinions on that program, more mat time is good mat time. And he wants to succeed. Watching him win his matches this year was as fun as watching us win district, watching us take second place at regionals, watching seniors place at state. Nick just has this aura around him that just brings everybody up. And so excited for the future with him as a part of the team. Now, not last, but second to last will be Andrew Sutherland. Andrew Sutherland actually also has wrestling experience, and I'm so sorry that I've offended you by not mentioning that he also has wrestling experience, because he does. And Andrew's at a tough weight to be at. He's just a little too big for 215, but he is a small heavyweight, man, and it's brutal. And yet, he never once complained. He had to go in every day towards the end of the year and wrestle with Jet Hanlon, state qualifier, Jung Soo, just look at the kid, and he had to just go be their dummy. Like, that puts a wear on you like no other. I'm sure y'all seen it, but I guarantee you, more than just about anybody, Andrew's parents saw that he would come home probably beat up and tired. But I know he still got his homework done, except maybe in AP Humanities a time or two. But I won't call him out too much on that. Maybe that's a little too personal. But that's Andrew Sutherland. Super excited because once again, need the big boys. Last but not least is going to be Ethan Warner, and I could say a lot about this kid. He's got an older brother in the program, but I think the thing that exemplifies him more than anything else is, of all the wrestlers in this room right now, Ethan Warner is the only single wrestler that made it out to every summer workout this summer. In my first summer taking over the program, these kids hardly know me at all, and yet he's going to be an incoming freshman. He doesn't even know the sport yet. He went to every single one. He's the only one who went to every single one. And there's a lot to say behind that. But I'm pretty sure, at least the people who need to get it in the room, get it. The future for him, if he can keep that work ethic, is incredible. He's going to do way better than you, Aiden. I'm sorry. I know brothers are competitive, but just be ready. You're going to need to, we'll talk about you later. But this class of kids is special. They'll be special to me. They're the smallest class, but I'm going to talk the most about them for that reason. Other than seniors, I'll talk the most about seniors. I don't want to keep y'all here all night, so I'm going to dismiss the freshmen, not before a quick picture though. So let's give it up for them one more time.
We got Quality Candy Awards. So all of the seniors, I think, have at least one. So, for example, like 100 grand, you give it 100% effort. We have Bubble Yum, you chew up the competition and quickly pin them down.
So next we got Crunch, because you crunch your opponents and breaking them down. I got Shawn Sweeney.